Dude, thank you for having me on, but I'm just happy to talk to you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah?
Hey, let's kick it off. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to a very special edition of Imprecisely. I'm your host, Jordan Valenzuela, and I'm joined by a brother of mine, teacher of mine, and our first guest of the new year, 2021, the homie Vince. What's up, man?
Dude, I'm just happy to talk to you one on one. Oh, I don't think we've ever gotten like a focused time to really speak. We spend
hmm
so much time doing stuff.
Yeah, no, agreed. But first and foremost, man, like I said, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Definitely miss you and everybody from class. Just to give people a little uh, just to put it in perspective for people, give them a little background. I met Vince through this the judo school that I attend. Um, yeah, he was like when I met you, you were a brown belt, I believe, and then shortly after, next thing you know, like, all right, we're gonna promote Vince to a black belt. I was like, whoa, this guy's this guy had put in his time, put in his work, and then next thing you know, you're drilling me every day. You're like teaching me new things every day. You're opening my mind up to like new techniques and grappling every day, which have not only benefited my like ground game and grappling sense of martial arts, but in general in life, man. So yeah, in a short amount of time, the few years that I've known you, maybe like was it like 3 years now? Thank you, man. You helped me personally a lot on my martial arts journey, personally in my life. You become a solid, true brother of mine, and I appreciate you, man. In the martial arts and in life in general, bro. I
Thank you
thank you.
for you're welcome, but thank you for just being a good student, There's not many that come around that way, you know. And I got my pad here and I tend to forget what I want to say.
No, you're
So
good,
I,
man.
I write, I write, I'm going to be writing while we talk because this is one of my few times I get to speak to you. Okay.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And while you're saying that, you're saying thank you. I wrote something down and uh, I got a question for you. And
Yeah, go ahead.
I wrote down here, you want a UFC, bro? Is that so? Long story short, do you want to pursue MMA? At least have one amateur fight here or there? What?
Um, Amateur, professionally wise, I think that ship has sailed. You know, growing up, always doing like tournaments, and then the in like karate and different like stand up striking ones, and then wanting to do a few, maybe get into some judo tournaments and grappling tournaments later on. Maybe like
Okay.
even like BJJ stuff. But in terms of
Okay.
taking a full on amateur fight, and like there was a point in my life where for sure I definitely, it wasn't like it was on my mind.
Okay. How
But
old
I
are you?
just, huh?
How old are you, bro?
Oh, I'm gonna be 25 in April.
25. Okay.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I feel like me personally, that ship has sailed because martial arts is one of my like my loves and my passions, my first loves. But there's a lot of, I have a lot of those, you know, and then
Okay. Okay.
I understand like the life of a martial artist, especially in the sense of like if you do it as a profession or anything, even just an amateur fight, because still there's a lot at stake, right? Like your health and everything and
Right?
the training. And
Yes.
I can't,
Yes.
I can't like, I'm at a place now in my life where there's so much going on with me, and like there's a lot of things that are on par with my love for martial arts, that I just have to do my best every day to like divvy up my time with everything. Like, and I understand when it's like high level, like consequences that could happen. Like you have to be all in. I tell a lot of my friends that too.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
at the gym, I have a lot of friends who are like, I train every day because you learn every day as a martial artist. You grow every day, and there's something to be learned every day, and just to keep the sword sharp, you know. But like a lot of my friends who are pursuing it, whether it be like boxing or being full-on MMA fighters or getting into kickboxing or even just wanting to do professional or like constant pro level like grappling tournaments and stuff. Whenever I speak to them, I always, it's always dropped in the conversation like, man, you gotta, if this is what you want to do, you gotta, this is what you gotta do every day. You
Yep.
gotta put, you
Yep.
know. But and so me personally, to answer your question, yeah, I'm at a, maybe probably before I would have tried it out, had an amateur one just for fun, but there's so much other things that my heart is into as well as martial arts that I can't devote myself to doing that
Right.
and I feel
I
like I
think
would be
yeah,
cheating
yeah.
myself. You know, I wouldn't
Okay.
be able to get the full benefit of it because I'm not giving it my all when I have responsibilities elsewhere and my time and my presence is needed here and when I should be training or vice versa, stuff like that. So, but in general, like martial arts is a lifelong journey, and like I do it something related to that every single day. You know,
In a way, I'm happy you said that because um, MMA is not so much a sport of longevity.
no, it's not.
And I had to actually quit doing competitive judo, which was actually a bad setback for me. And that's where I actually started training some BJJ
Hmm.
to get stop being thrown so much
Right,
and actually grow my mind elsewhere.
right. Do you feel? I was gonna bring that up. For those who don't know, Vince is a pretty decorated, I would say, grappler. Numerous judo tournaments and BJJ tournaments, and I'm sure, like you can, hold up some medals there in your room or some trophies, some nagas and stuff like that. But yeah, like my first question to you before we even get into all that, man, like
Okay.
just wanted to take it way back. Like where was your introduction in your life to martial arts, and then um where did it take
Mhm.
you, and like how did you fall in love with it, or like was it put on
Oh,
you, or like what was your introduction to martial arts and then the process of you falling in love with it and pursuing it as much as you did.
sure. Well, I laugh and I shake my head because I started in karate, and that was a while back with Richard Kibo. Whether you not know the name matters, but we were training in Waipahu. We did a lot of we had cotton gloves back in the day. Like
Oh,
it was right on top there. It was like right there,
my
and
dad
then
had
you had
those too.
yeah. So
I know you mean.
so that guy actually was a very strict teacher. I didn't like it one bit. My
Mm-hmm.
brother excelled, and that guy eventually taught us some good takedowns, some arm bars, even as children. So
Mm-hmm.
I had that. I had that training till maybe maybe I was 5 years old until I was half-heartedly going because I was just dragging my
Mm-hmm.
feet to go there until I was maybe 10.
Okay.
So that there was no real love because I was getting my butt kicked. I wasn't very good at it, and I got a real funny story for you in that era. But to move on, I um I had picked up judo when I was a senior in high school,
Okay.
and that is where I really fell in love with martial arts. Just just so in love with it.
Mm-hmm. And then so okay, so did you pick it up because you competed for school, or like you
Yes.
okay, I got it. That's
Yeah.
interesting you say that. Like um one of my friends the other day when I posted that I'm having you on, I don't know if you know him. I'm pretty sure you know him, considering he said you coached him. His name's Justin.
Okay.
He goes
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
UFC. Yeah, yeah. He replied to my story like, "Hey man, that guy coached me at my judo for school." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah."
Yeah.
So
So
you
yeah.
went full circle. You ended up teaching back to high schoolers.
Yeah. Actually, so I started my senior year, and that was a and I'm lucky that I only did my senior year
Hmm.
because this goes back to what we were talking about, not doing MMA because it's rough on the body and it takes so much dedication.
Hmm.
So the fact that I did it only my senior year allowed me to not be so injured to where I am now. Because if I had done it any much longer,
Hmm.
yeah, sure, I could if I started from when I was a freshman. I might be a little bit more decorated, but my body would be thrashed.
Right.
So where was I going with that? See, that's why I got my pen
Oh
here.
my. No, yeah, like just going back full circle, like falling in love with judo in high school and then going back to now teaching and coaching
Oh
judo
yeah,
at high
yeah.
school. Yeah, yeah.
So the funny thing is, we all say that we fell in love with the sport, but the one thing I would have to say that people don't really speak much about is falling in love um, with your coach.
Mm,
Like the coach is the person who tells you um, how happy they are to do it, and they're the ones who show you, oh, this is the way to think of things, or maybe this is, and my judo sensei was an older local Japanese man, very strict, but man, you couldn't help but think of him as a father figure,
yeah,
and he just he was a good man. So Sensei Hashimoto. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. That's I feel like that's so important. Like
yeah.
for like anyone wanting to join a gym or whatever or a martial arts school, like the sense of, I mean, of course you're gonna be training for uncomfortable situations, but like for example, like when I first started, not to like mention any names of clubs or whatever, but there was a couple other schools I visited when I wanted to get into judo before Newtown. And I respect the judo. I respected the place itself and like what they stood for, and then the way they trained. But it was when I went to Newtown and I met you guys. That's when I was like, I just felt it was like a sense of like, how your sensei was like a father figure to you. After just like meeting everybody and then like getting like a warm-up practice in, it was a real sense of like family and community. And
Yep.
maybe it's because too, like Jeff is the homie and he brought me there, so I was comfortable knowing that there was somebody there that I had already known outside of judo. And then just and then me bringing like my cousin Ryan in, and he felt the same way. Like Newtown, you guys are special. Like the way, like you, Sensei Jarek, Sensei Max, Sensei Chris, everyone just kind of like, you're all different in your own respects, but I gained so much from you, all of like from each of you, and like you all have your own teaching styles, and like there's so much I learn from each of you every day, which is why like I can't wait. Hopefully we can go back soon, man. I know I spoke to Sensei
Yep.
Jarek because he replies to my Instagram stories often.
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just, I think he was saying it's like a matter of because you guys are down, obviously it's a matter of like the rec center like allowing it and reopening up. So, I mean, hopefully sooner than later. But if not, if anybody has mats at their house, let me know. I'll swing through.
Okay. Okay. I
You
got
know
you,
what I
man.
mean?
Um, for my house, I just gotta get the space down because to put things mats on grass isn't really good for them. So
I
once I
understand.
get
Yeah.
that platform going, dude, let's go, man.
Let's go. Let's do it. Oh, you know what's ironic, dude? My parents, they picked up like like you watch a martial arts movie, in the dojo they got those like thick, it's like woven basket kind of material floors almost. They're my mom's friend in somewhere on the east side. They had like a whole room full of like that was the flooring, and then we brought them all here because they no longer needed them, and they're about like 2-3 inches thick, and like
Okay.
we have 20,
Okay.
we're not using them. So like maybe
Okay.
if you're down, I'm pretty sure I could get,
Oh,
because we're not gonna use
you
them all.
talking dirty to me, man.
Hey, hey, bro, I'm trying to get I'm just trying to get this
Yeah.
training back. I'm trying to
Okay.
get this training
Okay.
going. If I
I
could speak
gotta
to my parents and like we can get some of those, like maybe
let
like they
me
don't need a
yeah.
lot. We
Let me
lay
look at
that
them.
on the grass. Yeah, for sure. I'll send you pictures.
Let me look at them and see what we can do
Yeah.
with them. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking like lay that on the grass, then the mats over that. Like, yeah,
I
I'm just
like
trying to.
cool thing. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, man. I meant to
So
ask you in the beginning before I even
yeah.
started. Like, how was? I haven't seen you in like a year. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
how in general, how have you been? How was like life during quarantine for you? How was COVID? Did it affect you like work wise or like obviously training and stuff, or like is everybody in your family good? How was everything? Just your experience with COVID locking down and the state reopening and all that.
Right. I think I think I went through a full circle of similar of what everyone else went through. We were scared at first. And then we went into hyper vigilance. Then I became more, calmer about the situation, and uh, about the whole um and now I'm here, and I think this is the best I've ever been, like, to be honest, like, um things were bad, but man, I don't think I've ever had um as much fruit, as far as riches, as far as love, as far as you know, things that weren't going on for me like
Mm-hmm.
uh 6 or 8 months ago. They're ramping up now.
Right.
Whether it be money or opportunities, and as far as my work, yeah, it was totally impacted. um I had transitioned away the from the nursing floor onto some office work, still nursing work,
Mm-hmm.
but COVID did increase the demand of nurses, but higher. My competition went straight through the roof,
You an
and
RN,
that
bro?
left. Yeah, I'm in RN,
Oh, cool, cool,
so
cool.
I had moved on to some auditing,
Okay.
and I uh, I really wanted to keep doing auditing. There was no way I was going back on the floor.
Paperwork is cool with me.
Yeah, yeah. So that gig was doing really good for me, but I think I'll be honest, bro. I hope that I could just not work another day in my life. I'm
Mm,
thinking now, like after all this COVID stuff, I'm thinking about. I swear to God, I think of like opening a gym of not my own, but somewhere that's like somewhere in my grasp, or even
mm-hmm.
um maybe not so much opening a gym, but doing something on my terms, right?
Right, right. Like
Yeah, so
your own private classes or something.
anything. Anything, man. And then I even believe in fixing up my own house, because that has a extrinsic value to that too.
Mm-hmm. No,
So
it's awesome.
yeah, so I feel like it's COVID has put me in the situation where I'm like, okay, if I if if I'm forced not to work, and now that I'm m- made able to make ends meet this way, how come I got to go do some back to what I was doing before?
Right.
So hopefully 2021 is going to be really really good, or 2022,
Yeah.
right? Right?
Yeah, yeah. No, agreed. Yeah, hey, I'm happy to hear that, man. Well, first of all, I'm happy to hear that, you know, despite things that may have happened to you personally regarding work or whatever, that, 2020 you pushed through and you're in a better spot now. So that's awesome to hear. And whatever I believe, like whatever you decide you're gonna venture into, like I believe you'll be successful, man. You'll have my full support. Like I'll be there every class or whatever it is.
Hey,
I got you,
dude.
man.
Hey, thank you. But I did want to touch up about our little judo thing that we got, and I wanted to add into what made that recipe, if I could just give you a little
Yeah,
bit
for
of
sure.
history.
Go ahead, man.
So, with the whole BJJ thing, I started practicing BJJ maybe, shoot, maybe 2000. Let me look at my thing. What I got there? I don't got maybe 2000. I'm looking at my little. I gotta. I'll take out my frame here. This is me when I was a blue belt. I put this up here. This
Nice.
is the flying arm bar. If anything, that is my claim to fame. I just printed out this website thing, Jiu-Jitsu Times, and
You
that's where
made
I
it
got
on the
like,
jiu-jitsu website for doing a flying armbar?
yeah, yeah.
You have to send me
That's my.
this link.
Oh yeah, you didn't see that? Oh,
I have
okay, yeah,
not.
yeah. I'll send that to you.
Okay,
But
cool.
anyway, what do you call? Oh, I thought you knew, man. Okay,
No,
no,
I
it's
did
okay.
not.
So so let me just do that right now. Okay, well,
Yeah,
one second.
please.
Let me try to find that. Instagram,
Is it
or
like some Demetrius Johnson type of flying armbar?
maybe you
Cut the
just
guy
put
in the
in.
air, or you literally just jump
No,
at him?
you know what you could do. You could I that was the okay. The title is Flying Armbar Perfectly Executed in a Tournament.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll
Just
find it.
just
Well, I'll get it
just
after. I'll get it
yeah,
after.
just that premise was like my gave me goosebumps,
When
man.
was this?
So that was 2015ish.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the recipe to our jujitsu club is quite special. Sensei Jarek being a very important factor,
Hmm.
because he was the person to look me in the eye and said, "I want you here training with me." And if he had not had that transparency,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be there, right? So
Right.
he was the one that really. And he and actually Sensei Okuhara, Sensei Max,
Hmm.
and that's the great thing about I love about Japanese culture. It's the transparency. They show transparency through action. So them allowing me to teach there is the
Right.
ultimate thing, right? So along, so I go train BJJ. I go learn from Leandro Niza at UFC gym. He's awesome.
Hmm.
And I just I take into the culture there. It's a little bit different. And and what Leandro Niza showed me, and a lot of those other skilled guys, there was you can be a killer, but at the same time be the most humble, soft spoken.
Yeah.
When he shakes your hand, guy, it's very soft. And that was kind of like contrasting to judo. And I was like, gee, I like that. Can I bring that into judo? But not so much like just bow ugly, just bow like that or anything like
Hmm.
that. Just be more or less approachable, not so, oh, bow to your sensei, right?
Yeah.
So I really took that on, and because that's what I felt and loved, and that's who I am, sort of. So I went
Agreed.
with it, and I feel like we've been growing ever since that.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah,
And I feel like it's so important for people to cross train. Like the same roots coming from like Japanese jiu-jitsu, branching off to judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and all that. But I just feel like the core is the same, and I feel like it's so important. Like I think the only major differences would be like the emphasis and then like rules and within sport competition. But I feel like it's so important for people to cross train because I would say like judo, the pace of judo mimics like the pace of like a real life fight, like very fast pace, and then BJJ you can roll until like you're 70. It can there's flow rolling and doing it lightly as they say, and then like being able to mix that because like if you can't use your submission skills if you can't get the guy down, vice versa if you get the guy down, now what if he survives that throw and he's okay, you know what I mean? So that's what I always tell people when they would ask me about like Newtown Judo. Like I love our place because we emphasize the newaza, the groundwork, the rolling, the grappling, the submissions, just as much as the throws. Because they're
yep.
I feel like they're married. They should go hand in hand. Like you get the guy down. If it's not on concrete and he survives, you gotta you gotta be able to take him out, tap him out. Vice versa, you can have all these submission skills, but if the guy knows basic like wrestling defense or whatever, and you can't get him down, so like they just complement each other very well. And I feel like some people like they differentiate them too much when they should go hand in hand kind of thing, like salt and pepper to make your steak better. You know what I mean? As
Oh man, yep, yep.
like what do you
So,
think like the importance of cross training, like grappling, like judo, jiu-jitsu,
phew,
wrestling? Like it's so important, right, to have like all, like if you're a striker you can't just be a boxer, you can't just be a like just kicks, like you can't just you have to have everything, the full arsenal, the knees, the elbows,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
the defense too.
So
So
I got a funny thing to tell you, and then I got a serious thing to tell you.
yeah.
Okay. So Sensei Jarek, he works at Maui Divers, right?
Yeah.
So he sells jewelry. He's an ace, by the way. He meets hundreds of people. He meets actors, business people. So he was working with a Japanese person customer, and he bought some jewelry, the whole set, whatever. Hooked him up, and he tells him, "Oh, I do judo and jujitsu." Sensei Jarek's telling him
Hmm.
this, and so the guy says, Japanese guy, he goes, "Oh, judo. Oh, jujitsu. Very dangerous."
Is it an older guy or just like
An older guy, I guess. So he was a real Japanese guy, so he understands martial arts,
right,
right?
right, right.
So, so my serious connection to what you're saying is, I got um you know, judo is very fast paced, man. And to do judo stand up is not in your best interest as an older adult. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm very, very careful with you. I'm very careful with our other classmates that we have. He just turned what, 74, 73.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
is
And
he?
he's 74 or 73. Yeah.
Wow.
So, we gotta take care of all of them. And you know what? I just mentioned this to just
Show.
out loud. Yeah, yeah, Show. That's his
He's.
name. Yeah.
I knew
He's
he.
about
I knew he
70.
was up
Yeah,
there, but wow.
yeah, yeah. So, I feel like the the top guys in the world, they probably have only two or three guys that they could truly train with and not get hurt before their competition.
Hmm.
Maybe only one guy in the world, right? So that's how you got to choose your training partners. I'm learning that every day, you know. And
Yeah.
I've got so with the importance of cross training, I mean, that's Bruce Lee, man. That's where it all came from, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at too. You I I'm trying to make a large connection here, and I'm sure everyone is. But for me at my competition thing, because I want to go to Worlds in August or June, whenever it is,
Hmm.
and compete amongst the 30-year-olds there. I want to do that, man.
Yeah, you should, dude.
Yeah. So I want to do that, and my current situation as a purple belt in jiu-jitsu is making those few connections to make it all perfect. I mean, I'm talking about Seonagi into an armbar. I'm talking about Uchimata into an armbar. Anything.
Yeah.
Like that's the most perfect, potent way to end a fight. I mean, you get that guy, you maybe tie him over, and then he's got that arm out, bing, straight
Hmm.
into an armbar. That would be like Izero Adesanya of competing jiu-jitsu and judo. That's kind of what that's where you want to try to
Hmm.
head. You want to reach for that, because if not, you got to go ahead. Oh yeah, you do a jump throw, now you're in a half guard, do whatever your system is, and then you know end the fight there if you
Yeah.
gotta.
No, yeah. The whole reason of me wanting to, I mean, I've always like since I can remember, I've always wanted to the goal was just to have multiple black belts. Like growing up, like my dad. And then and then like, striking is like my forte. Like I love striking. I grew up doing that. But we also had like trips and sweeps in karate as well. And then I really wanted to take up judo because I wasn't able to do it in high school just because I went to a high school like out of my home district. So like practices were like kind of inconvenient for my parents and they're driving late at nights or like on the weekends and stuff. And I understand that. So I mean, it's okay. But I have always wanted to do it. So like when I decided to do judo and then later hopefully, like an actual BJJ school as well, the goal was always to just like be decorated, like a martial artist decorated, and just to have competency like on the ground as well. And then now that I've been training it, and now like few years now, I noticed like when I do MMA rounds with like my cousins or my friend them, like there was this one time where like I hit like a 1-1-2, and then I spun into a spinning back kick,
Uh-huh,
got him
uh-huh.
against the fence, and then we clinched, and then I instinctively I just osotoed right there, and then we just
Ugh,
we just let it up because we're in shin guards and stuff, and it's like it was kind of hard to
that's
continue to
beautiful
roll.
still.
But yeah, I was like, I wasn't even thinking about it, and then just it took me like I had to remember to not stop because we were live. But I kind of took a moment to stop because I was like, did I just do that? Like it's all the repetitions and drilling in class. Like I hit that Osoto so just instinctively. So like what you said with the transitions, it's very that's the goal, right? It just kind of flows out of you so smooth, like when Izzy or Max do like stand-up combinations, or when like all Charles Oliveira's on the ground going from a triangle into an armbar. Like just the transitioning is so important because you
So
rather
yeah,
have
yeah.
everything just one boom smooth rather than do this, okay, do this, and hopefully end up with this result. Like it can get jammed somewhere in the middle. So if you can just do everything one speed, one motion, smooth transition, that's the goal. Like I always refer to that Mighty Mouse, like he like suplexed Ray Borg and then landed in the armbar. Like what? Like to me, that's still one of the craziest like submissions I've seen like completed.
Yep,
I
that is perfect.
Yeah.
That is perfect. So that leads to two concepts here. So we're talking about, you know, having all these things, right? You
Mm,
have judo, jujitsu, stand up, all that stuff, and you're trying to reach that, right?
right.
And that's maybe a black belt here, black belt there, but then you
Hmm.
know what, Jordan, the thing that's what you achieved on paper when you
Yeah.
did that Osoto 1-2. But then what you really need to achieve, because um based off of this next thing I'll share with you, is the I don't know if I spelled it right, but it's
Unconscious.
unconscious. Because so that's good, you did all that, but if it's unconscious, good. If you fight in your dreams and you do what you're supposed to do in your dream, good. Because here, I'll leave you with this too. uh, if you think you are late, if you are late, you use strength. If you use strength, you tire, and if you tire, you die.
Mm,
That's not me. That's from some jujitsu book I'm reading.
I like
So
that.
yeah. So reasons why we want to hit. There's reasons why we want to hit this, because we're fighting for this.
Yeah.
But this can still come before this, Jordan.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You agree with me?
I
And
do.
yeah, so that means we can perform better than we actually do.
Yeah. And to me, that brings me
Yeah.
back to another quote. Like I grew up like taking to heart in martial arts is like just victory loves preparation, and like the reason you get into that flow state where it's just effortless, your body just reacts to what is given, is because of like the preparation, the training. Like like since I was 5, like why do I have to stand here and throw 100 punches from this position and throw 100 kicks from this position, so that like later on when I'm going live, it just comes out when it needs to, when I see an opening and the form is correct and the speed is correct, and like, oh, that's what that was for. Or like when we're in class and like when we're when we're just repping throws and trips over and over, like I can do it, of course, but like there's so many intricate details that only come from continuous practice and repetition, that might be a little detail why you were able to instinctively go into it during live sparring or live competition, because your body has like its muscle memory. When the opportunity is there, when the window's there, you jump at it and your body just does the technique, and you end up with a good result. And like that's ultimately the goal, right? Just unconscious flow state, just whether it's striking or grappling or blending the two, just seamlessly going back and forth, and without like without friction or without like any difficulty, just being able to go back and forth and advance to the next step, the next position or whatever. Like yeah, that's super. I like that quote. You mind saying that one more time, man? The
Oh yeah, let
I'm
me go
keeping that.
find it.
I'm
Yeah,
keeping
yeah.
that.
Because that's oh yeah. So this is from I'm actually only reading the introduction to this because I'm training. I'm training not so much the positions, but this has got a great introduction, and it talks about the belt rankings,
Hmm.
how how the mind influences your whatever performance. So it said, if you think you are late, if you are late, you use strength. If you use strength, you tire, and if you tire, you die.
Yeah. What did Bruce Lee say?
Yeah.
Don't think, feel.
Yes, sir.
Don't
So,
think, feel.
moving forward, we did mention that, maybe you wanted to compete some judo or even jiu-jitsu even.
Hmm.
And, I think, darn, where was I going this? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I went back to my paper.
This is with the hopes that COVID dies down eventually at some point.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah, yeah, I believe that.
it's gonna,
Yeah.
because, so how you train is how you're gonna compete.
Hmm.
And, like, um, for any if other colleagues or this is not me saying this, but I repeat what my good coach will tell me, so I'll just repeat what people tell me, and that if that bodes well with you, sure, yeah. So how you train is how you compete. if you if let's say you do something different on competition day, and you say, oh, I'm gonna eat some really light food, and this whole time you've been eating whatever for your trainings, and you've been doing fine. You should go do what you were doing at training,
Yeah.
and then bring that to your competition day. Or if you say, oh, I don't want to train because I had a bad day at work, you know well, if you have a bad day at work on your competition day, your competition day doesn't really care about that, right?
No. No.
So there's mentalities, there's intakes that you can do physically to take that motion forward. But I would love to coach you and guide you in whatever you do in judo or jiu-jitsu, man. I'll even watch
Yeah.
your anything you do, man. And I love the rap thing. I see you,
Thank you, man.
yeah, yeah. And rap as I was talking to our friend Brandon earlier, and I told him I see a younger version of myself in you. I feel like I, I like I'm 34, so around your age, I was trying to rap. I was trying to rap, like, but not as
Oh
clean
yeah.
as yours, man. Yeah, and I
Nah.
was chilling. I was chilling with some guys. I would always cipher. Who was our mutual friend? Oh, IA.
Hmm.
He's a homie, man. He's for real the
Yeah.
homie.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
me
I'm
and him
supposed to
go
get him on
back,
here
man.
eventually.
He's the man, man. I'll watch that for sure. But yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words. Um, yeah. Going back to like the competition perspective and topic, I just want to know, for me personally, and you can let everyone else listening know, just your personal accomplishments. Like, um, I know you've entered a lot of nagas and stuff. Like, what have you competed in, and what have you won? Like, was it like worlds, nagas, gi, no gi? Like, what are the things that you've entered competition wise that you've placed in and actually got rewards at? Just for me, because I really
okay,
don't know and I want to know.
okay. So you know what? I want to preface this because it'll make my my whatever things that I've done a little bit better, because I'll tell you the truth, I haven't won um any real judo competitions. Like, I haven't really gotten first place in any of them, because judo is so stacked. And I'll
Yeah,
leave it
I can
at that.
imagine.
Leave it at that. But I want to tell you that because that gives maybe another person an idea of, okay, maybe that guy. So I moved on to jiu-jitsu, and I won some nagas. I lost my first one pretty badly, but I put up a good fight. That was at white belt. And I then the next so I won a white belt gold medal at Nago maybe once, and then I won an icon with a gold at white belt once.
Hmm.
Then I won a few at blue belt, maybe two Nagas at blue belt, and a one icon submission. That's a submission only one. I won that one on yeah, I took a gold on that one. But that doesn't mean I submitted everybody. Okay? That not at all. And I don't think I should have won that one, but
Hmm.
the points were in my favor, and they gave me the gold. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's
Congrats, dude.
yeah. Thank you. But
Yeah, I knew
yeah.
you. I knew you had. I was like, I just wanted to know. Like, I was like, go ahead and flex the gold medals. Like, what? Let's let everybody know. Because I knew you entered a lot. I know you competed a lot. I just didn't know like what you entered in and what you won. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, do you like the I'm a big in general. I enjoy watching competitive grappling and stuff. But like, I watch like I like Meta Morris. Is it Meta Morris? Meta. Am I saying that correctly?
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
where
Metamorphs, and
yeah, Meta Morris.
there's another one called oh shucks, Quintet.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
really
yeah.
good one. Quintet's really
I like
very
the
much like that.
yeah, I like the format because it's like there's not necessarily points. It's like it's submission or draw.
I
Because
love submission only.
yeah,
I love that
because you
because
can't just like keep sweeping and like defending and then you win off points. It's like okay, you both survived. To
you can,
translate it
yeah,
in
you
a real
can do what,
situation, you both go
yep.
home, like which
So,
is
well,
the goal. But
Well, the with submission only, you can swag out a little bit. I would say there's room to just feel out your opponent. You
Mm-hmm.
know, some guys will go straight for the guard pull and try to sweep you,
Yeah.
and that's a little less entertaining than seeing who's actually better here,
Yeah.
right? Because if I sit down on my butt and I say, okay, um, I'm gonna sweep you, but you have to stand up. That's a weird pretense. So how
Mm-hmm.
about we both start from standing up when we're both trying hard, and then we'll
Mm-hmm.
just see who's truly better, you
Yeah.
know, right? So
Yeah.
because to sit on your butt is not that's not the deal. You'll get kicked in the head in real
Oh
situation, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
That so I'm not sure if you're familiar with the jujitsu rules, but it
To a
does
degree.
go yeah, so it does allow for people to pull guard more often than takedown.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
and that's fine too, but if you have that in a submission only scenario, I'm gonna cartwheel over you, I'm gonna go left, I'm gonna go right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
mess with you, throw a flying guard pass armbar on you,
Yeah.
like wild stuff. But then that is part of my game, like I wanna be able to throw that stuff at you and like mess with your head and give a scramble.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're gonna just go points for points, now I gotta put on my sports game, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I have this conversation a lot with my friends who roll at different places. Like, there's the whole sport jujitsu versus, like street jujitsu, where like, you know, certain situations where you'd want to keep them close so that they're not in punching range points wise, and how it looks to the judges, you keep them far, stuff like that. Like, there's no slamming and stuff. It's like, I think I was watching like Eddie Bravo talk to Joe, where like some schools, like they were giving like false, not false confidence, but just a vague sense of how this works, because when they apply it somewhere else, wait, why did I get punched in the face? Like, why did I get slammed? Because they don't train with like strikes, or it's training to a specific rule set for strictly grappling competition, so they don't take into account like all this other stuff. Like, if you go train elsewhere and they don't play by those rules, or they're not training to compete, they're training just to train, like for like street scenarios and stuff. And I feel like yes and no, it's important to know both. And like, that's why we go back to the cross training thing, because just being able to unconsciously adapt to what is given, I feel like that's the like, you get to certain people, like for example, I'll use some champs in the UFC, like George St. Pierre level or John Jones level. I don't even feel like I feel like they got to a point where they don't even train anymore for a specific opponent. They're just so well versed everywhere. They just improve themselves, and then like whatever name gets thrown at them next, they'll just adjust. You know, like they don't make a specific game plan for nobody no more. Like, they just, who's next? Okay, take what they
Right.
give. You know, exploit this because you feel you're better there. Or that's not working. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do this instead, or I'm gonna take it down instead, or I'm gonna stand it back up instead. And I feel like that's super important to just have a full arsenal like knowledge. And that leads me to my next question. I was gonna ask, like, it goes both ways, either or. Has there anything like exclusively judo that helped you, that you learned in BJJ tournaments, and vice versa, that you were able to learn in a jiu-jitsu standpoint that helped you out in a judo competition, like vice versa?
Bro, every day I am learning that the two go hand in hand in different areas. Okay, and I'll give you one good example. Judo is everything in judo is circles, right? And if you look at it like the way I move my hand, that's circles, and the way we move sometimes, that's in a circle. So in the same thing for BJJ, if I'm attacking somebody to pass their guard, right? I'm gonna move left. I'm gonna move right. That's a half circle. And I've been working off of that for a long time. And with as far as jiu-jitsu, I'm also learning about from jujitsu to judo now, there's some things that we do very, very uh, inquisitively. Like I'll give you an example, okay? Since we're gonna compete jujitsu together, right? And
Mm.
train jujitsu.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and you, we're gonna train jujitsu, right?
Yes, yes,
Eventually.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Hopefully
okay.
soon.
So yeah, we are. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay,
Let's
cool.
you write it down in the future. It's gonna happen, right? So, um, where was I going? The jujitsu thing. So what we like to do in jujitsu sometimes is we like to create false floors. And somebody told me that, my friend Oi, Steve, and something clicked in my brain. I was like, oh, oh. And what it is like, let's say you're in my close guard, right? And
Hmm.
you're just way too forward. Sometimes I could hold you up there and then just drop you and roll you over, right?
Hmm.
That's in a moment there, I'm creating a false floor, making you believe that you're safe there when you're not. I take out the floor underneath from you, and I'll take you over.
Hmm.
Same thing with judo. That goes back now. That's from jujitsu to judo. Now from judo back to jujitsu, where if I take out a piece of the table's leg, chop it off, it's going to be weak that way. And if it goes only that way, you can insert a throw there, just like jujitsu when you're sweeping someone with the, let's say, scissor sweep,
Hmm.
right? Right. So, stuff like that. There's so much, Jordan. Like we could
Yeah.
talk like over a beer another time,
No, for sure.
right? Yeah.
For sure. What do you call that? Just on a personal level, just to like pick your brain on some like nerd martial arts type of stuff. Do you have favorite submissions or throws or transitions or combinations that you like to use, that you prefer, or that you just are a fan of, whether you've done them yourself or not, or seeing them that you just really appreciate as like your favorite techniques?
My favorite technique of all time is gonna be Osoto Gari. That's gonna be it. Why? Because it is the least effort, but the most difficult to hit. Still, when I landed on somebody, they're going down and they're going down
Yeah,
hard. I
yeah,
love that throw so much.
same, same. It's such a like a it's such a like it seems so
Ah,
it's so
bam.
simple. It's
Yeah,
so like really the mechanics of it are so simple, but it lands hard. And it's like it's a good, like when you're going live and you're sparring, like if you abandoning a technique, or it's kind of like a lifeline, kind of like as long as you take a big enough step, it's kind of always there if you hit it right and the time is correct. Like if you miss, if you had a failed attempt at this throw, or you're trying to go for this, or someone goes for this on you, like going in the circles, as long as you place yourself and your opponent correctly, you can reach for it, you can hit it. So yeah, same. I love that throw. That brings me to my next thing. There's this post that I've seen twice now on your
uh-huh.
Instagram.
Oh,
Do you know where I'm
which
going
one?
with this? Since we're on the Osoto Gare topic, the, you were like competition. I think it was a jiu-jitsu competition, and you kind of like baited the guy in because you seemed like you weren't doing anything, and then he took a step forward,
Yeah, yeah,
spun around, like you just spun
yeah,
in midair on your 2 feet, and you could tell he kind of froze, like what just happened, and then you boom hit the
yeah.
Osoto on him.
Yeah, yeah.
Explain that to people. Where did you make that up? Where did you get that from? Like, did you see that somewhere?
Oh, no, no,
Or
no.
like,
Did
did you
not make
practice
that up.
that? No, not make
I
it up.
didn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, did
So
you practice that, or like you just kind
I
of did it in the moment?
I practiced it, but I saw it from a guy. He went to Campbell High School. This kid was a legend. Okay, I mean, Cole Keto is a legend. Okay, he did not win at states first place, but that boy is so talented. He was so good, and I don't care what anybody says. That boy was somebody special in the judo community, and he was a little. I would say he stirred it up a little bit, but man, he could perform. So he did it off the bow, like they're doing their match, right? And so the
Yeah.
ref separated them, and I'll demo it for you, right? I'll demo it like this for you. And so he comes off of the mat, off of not a bow, but they were fighting and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
so um, he he didn't engage him just yet. He looked like this. I'm not shitting you. That's, lit- that's literally what he did because it caught the guy off guard. He was like, "Oh, this guy's spinning," and so his the other guy was in his fighting stance with one foot forward and one foot back, right?
Yeah.
And by the time Cole Keto finished his spin, the guy was still here and he had that foot backwards and he
Mm.
just fell. And it was an ippon. We went crazy. We're like, oh,
Oh, you
what
saw this
the?
live?
Yeah, we were like, what? So it was wild. He literally did this
Kind of like
in a
he seemed
spinning
drunk.
motion.
Yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
boom.
So and so I saw that and I was like, huh, okay. I wonder why that worked. So I dissected it, and so I messed around a few times with the judo students at Campbell, even Sensei Jarek, like even some of the kids at Newtown,
Yeah.
right? I was just like, I would practice it. I would be like that, and then I would spin into it. Like, oh, okay, it's there. That's where it is. But I also took notice that it did something funny to my knee.
Mm.
So like it kind of hurt it a little bit. So I was like, ooh, watch out for that part.
Yeah.
So I adjusted it a little bit. So you want to hear the part about the competition. So that's where it's
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Cole Keto.
No,
I'm
your
not gonna,
application of
yeah.
it.
I just gotta keep saying his name because that
Yeah. Yeah.
kid,
Where credit is
because
due.
yeah. And yeah. So anyway.
You didn't
so
ask
anyway,
him like about it, or you just kind of
uh,
figured it out
no,
on your own.
yeah, I just saw it. And me and him would speak here and there, but I don't think I really asked him about it.
Oh, okay.
It was just cool, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I wonder if he
so
made it up or he got it from somewhere too.
I want to ask him. I should go ask him, but he went off to the Air Force, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So man, I wanted him to compete, man. I wanted to see him go to the Olympics, you know.
Yeah.
I wish that for all the younger people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I asked you if you wanted to do MMA. I just dreamed of watching you, doing stuff like that. But it's whatever.
And
Yeah. Anyway. So um, competition day, I'm competing and I hit a very simple flying armbar on somebody,
very
and
simple flying
it
armor.
was simple. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I grabbed the guy, and the first guy, I just kind of like twiddled my feet for an oichigari. He noted that very like he bit that hard,
Hmm.
and I just kind of like twiddled my foot forward for koichigari, but was already blocking me out very hard for that. So as soon as I threw the other oichigari, like you can barely see my feet doing the footwork. I threw the flying armbar and I won in like maybe a minute, maybe.
Wow.
But we didn't even fight that much.
Wow.
So that was in the air. He saw that live. My other guys saw that. My other guys in my division saw that because they're all waiting to see what happens for their match, right?
Yeah.
So I go against this. So that guy was watching that me do that to another guy in his division.
Hmm.
What's going on in your head, right?
You're gonna do it to me.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, no way. No way am I going to let him do that to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I came here to fight, baby.
Hmm.
So we slap hand fist bumps. I'm challenging that guy now. And he's like, oh, man, trying to grip fight me like this, like just
Real
hard. Like, it was like,
tight
whoa,
defense kind of thing.
tight. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I know what's going on here. He's just being extra careful. And he should be. So I'm playing. But it got to the point after about a minute, maybe even 2 minutes, like he would not engage me. He was
Just
just
a
like,
minute of that.
yeah. And so I was like, okay, now I'm processing. I'm processing. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna try to get into your head now, and I think the Spinneroonie Osoto Gari is gonna win. It's gonna work here. I really thought that for just like half a second. I was like, I think it's gonna work. So I just did this. I started trying to grab him, obviously to the ref. He pushed me off, and then I copied him. I just went like this, like just to annoy him,
Yeah.
just boom, boom, just a little
Yeah. Just
extra stuff.
yeah.
Then I was like,
Just to be
you want to
petty.
fight? Yeah, and then I put my hands down, and then I spun, and I kept my eyes on him. I was like, Bing, I think I think you're gonna be right here. And he, boy, was he there. He was there. And
He was just watching you spin.
but he was so well, he watched me spin, but as he watched me spin, he was like, oh, this mother like, to to me? You doing that to
Mm.
me? So he got
So he
mad.
came in.
So he was like, "Ugh, this is my chance. I'm gonna get you."
Yeah.
So he fell right into the pocket. And because he was in an athletic stance, when he grabbed me
His
and we
weight
were
was for.
his weight was forward, and he just fell. And I was like, ooh,
Mm. How did
mm,
how did the rest of
ooh.
the
That
please, you're like holding him
me,
in,
that
like
was
holding him
okay.
inside control. Please tell me somebody is
Yeah,
recording
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I actually have my girlfriend
Oh,
record.
okay.
That's her job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All your highlights
Yeah.
are because of her. Wait.
Hey,
So how did the
yeah,
rest of the
yep.
match go? Did you? Uh,
No, I didn't win.
but you landed a spinneroonie of Sotogari.
Yeah, that's all that. So the submission only format
That's a victory in
dictate.
itself.
Yeah, I could say that, but thank you, thank you, thank you. But
But it
they
is. Who
don't.
does that?
Kokito and myself.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, so that's actually one of my I really liked that day. Like, that was a good one. I liked that.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about competing, Jordan, that like once you get it all done with, it's all awesome. Life is so good, but like, to be in the moment and just doing that is really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think, sure, we practice judo, sure, we practice jiu-jitsu, but the awesome part is we're going to practice so much jiu-jitsu that who cares if your throw is ugly. We're going to go in deep water, and
Hmm.
we'll show people our jiu-jitsu is really good too.
Yeah.
That's what I love doing.
And
Yeah.
if it's not clean, I'm gonna get you down, and
Yeah.
you're gonna drown.
Yeah,
that
I love that.
that brings me back to like my the first question. So I was asking like your favorite techniques in terms of like throws and then like submissions now. Like, do you have a favorite or preference or something that you hit really easily and often
um
that you love to do and set up?
I love to do arm bars,
Yes.
but yeah, arm bars are awesome. And actually, one of my favorite chokes would be, you got okay. There's no real because you got to watch out for the guillotine, man. The
Mm,
guillotine is the most underrated submission ever. Find yourself a guy who knows a good guillotine and train with him until his guillotine cannot tap you out, and you'll be good on the street, man. But anyway, my most favorite choke would be the bow and arrow. You grab the guy's
that hurts. Yeah, yeah.
lapel, and because that's you can't not tap to that.
Yeah.
And psychologically, man, like when you got someone who fighting you in your legs, and they're sitting there in your stuff, and you grab their lapel, and you choke them like right there,
Yeah, I know.
and you're looking at that, and you're
I
just
know.
like,
That's
there's
such
so
a
much
that's like being
so much
that
psychology.
that's such a
Great psychology.
defeating that's such a
Yeah,
defeating place to be. Like
yeah,
you're watching
yeah.
him choke you lifeless, like you're in
Hmm.
his lap.
Hmm.
Like a
Hmm.
baby, like and a father figure, like he's putting you to sleep. That
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
I remember when you demonstrated I remember when you demonstrated it to like the adults, and then you used me, and then you used Ryan. I was like, wow, this sucks. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at him. Like, I can't even like break eye contact right now because like, oh man, I remember when we were drilling that, like I couldn't turn my neck left for like 2 days.
Right,
But
right.
like, oh man, yeah, but like, um, you call that guillotines? I think my favorite one I've ever seen done was when like Kane shot in on Verdum,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
like Verdum
Hmm.
had no, not like, had like 0% concern that he's going to the floor. He just like if you, I'm pretty sure like if you watch it back, like Verdum was smiling like on the way down,
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
plus two, like Kane, he was busting Kane up on the feet, so maybe it was like a panic shot, and Kane was tired and beat up, obviously, and maybe he just wanted to rest on the floor. But like soon as he shot, I don't know if it was a lazy takedown or Verdum just was in the right place, but he just wrapped the neck, and then on the way down, he's smiling, and he knew. I was like, oh man, it was
Another,
clean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Like
Another, yeah.
before he even hit the floor, he had it cinched in already. I was like, oh, that's a good guillotine.
My other favorite instance like that would be the Nate Diaz,
Oh, is it
where
Gray
I
Maynard?
forget who. I forget who it was, but he
Was
had
it Gray
someone in a
Maynard?
high triangle. He had from his close guard,
Yeah, yeah. Is when he flipped the
and
birds.
yeah, he flipped the birds
I think that was
because
Gray Maynard. If I'm,
yeah, yeah.
I think so.
So he knew, like he didn't even have the choke yet, but I tell you the truth, dude. I would say anyone. Oh man, not many people can finish a triangle choke, man. So once he had that high guard triangle thing, and he was flipping the bird and all that, he already knew he'd finish it.
Two
I
of
was
them
like, geez, you're like 4 steps away from closing it. Well, maybe
flexing
like
too.
yeah. How many steps did he do? He went here, one over, grabbed his shin, moved it, closed it, then pulled the head down. That's like 3 or 4 moves, and he's
Hmm.
calling victory. That
Double
is a
birds
yeah,
flexing.
yeah, yeah. That's how you know a guy is really knows his positions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That brings
yeah,
me to my next
yeah.
question. It doesn't have to be UFC. It can be any promotion. What were your most like grappling wise? Whether it was like when Habib had I go shit RDA or like or what even like submissions. What were like some of your favorite submissions that you've watched? Whether it's UFC, Bellator,
Mm.
One, WEC, whatever.
Yeah,
Just to
yeah.
pick your brain. I'm just curious.
Number one would be definitely the Demetrius Johnson, where he did the hip to hip, pushed him off, and then caught him in the arm bar.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that's a good one. We could drill that if you like.
I think
Yeah.
that's easier for the lighter weight guys to do.
No, no. It's a guy. You need a guy who can take fall for you.
Yeah.
That's what you need, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and that's actually, you know what? And if we're gonna keep that sentence right there, find a guy who could take fall for you is actually the one way you're gonna get better in judo.
Mhm.
And you're in good
Yeah.
you're in a good place where you are right now. But
Hmm.
what were we talking about? Sorry.
Like your favorite submissions or
Oh, yeah, and
grappling
then
moments in MMA.
let me think. There's just so much to mention. I love them all. Like every single submission, I love them. Like yeah, all of them.
There's like like coming from like the power grapplers perspective too. One that I enjoy watching, not enjoy because it's horrible, but it was so slick was when like Frank Mir, Kimura Noguera, and he
Oh yeah,
ripped off. Oh, I was like, oh my god. You thought when Noguera rolled him over, you thought he was gonna get out, and then Frank like stepped over, like nope, went back. I was like, oh, just
you
tap,
see, yeah,
just tap.
rank and prestige has nothing to do
Mm,
with another person's technique.
no,
The guy knows a good arm bar. He's got a good arm bar. You're gonna tap. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Doesn't
why
matter
like
who you are.
yeah, no, that's why like I was it was such like a milestone for me personally when I like it was like I think it was the last week before COVID hit and we had to shut down. Like we were rolling, and then I armbarred Jeff from the bottom. And like because Jeff was like my entrance and my introduction to that place, and he was my friend for years prior. And I knew even before I joined you guys, like he was super good, and he taught me a lot, and he'd give me like rubs when we spar and stuff. So when I landed, I was like, it had like a surreal moment, like did I just do that? Like, and then yeah, like that's why when you said arm bars, I was like, they're becoming slowly becoming something I'm
S-
like not obsessing over, but
You're just
just
like
yeah, just like the mechanics of it is so intriguing to me.
yeah,
Like that pendulum, like breaking point of the elbow, and just like literally cranking it. Like when and then like there's so much like little details, like when you pull it outside, so you have more space to drop it down, or when Oliveira tucked it
yeah.
when he did it to Ferguson in his
Oh
armpit.
yeah. You know what that is? There's got to be like a Fibonacci sequence in there.
Yeah.
Like your tendons are all lined up by like these certain numbers, and then when the force comes in, it turns into exponentially more like a
Yeah.
number that's exactly 900 times that. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
There's beauty in that.
I'm in love with like the mechanics of it. It's so pure and simple, but like destructive. Like again, like Frank Mir when he did it to Tim Sylvia, and like Tim was like
Hmm.
standing up, and like, Frank was like levitating in the air, and he snapped it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
just tap, man, just tap. You know, what I noticed too, like when we roll, if it's like chokes and stuff, you know, like I'll let it go a little longer. I'll let like people I'm rolling with like really work for it, not give them false confidence. Like I tap and they didn't really do anything to me.
Yeah.
But if it's joint stuff, oh, I tap, I give it to them. As soon as I feel it, it's not worth it. I gotta live to train tomorrow. But yeah, like when I was having neck cramps after we were running bone air, I was like, it's a choke. I'll let them go until they really. I'll let them work for it.
Yeah, yeah, you should. You should. And you're totally to thank for that, you know.
But
100%. And we props to all our training partners, because without our training partners we wouldn't have these moments where
yeah,
those aha moments, where oh, those moments where it finally came together,
mm-hmm,
those moments at competition where you hit that stupid move
yeah,
that looks cool, but hey, you're training. So Sensei Jarek gave me that. I don't know who helped me practice those things, but I practiced flying armbar, my Osoto Garis, my left hand judo.
mm-hmm,
Start practicing left hand judo too. I'm just
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
throw that out there all the time. Yeah, or whatever you want to do with your left hand.
No, I
What
do
you
like,
keep. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, like the forms, like setting it up. I practiced left hand also because that was one thing I'm super. It's
good.
like coming from a karate background.
Yep, yep, yep,
It seems so common sense, but
yep,
like
yep,
meeting
yep,
other people in life who grew up with striking backgrounds and it's not so common, it kind of blows my mind. Like in karate, we
yep.
were forced to go southpaw
Yeah,
just as
me
much
too.
as we train orthodox. Like
Yeah,
you're not gonna leave here today unless you rep this out perfectly on your non-dominant hand.
yep.
Like that was normal to me. So I can switch stances seamlessly. So like when I met people who were like they spent a lifetime in martial arts and they can't fight right side forward or whatever, I'm just like it was so strange to me, you know. I guess it was just it's a traditional martial art thing. So I want to implement that also like with judo and grappling. Like if I can do this really well on this side, but if they negate that, I want to be able to do it on the other side. So I've been like like at home or with Ryan, like we just do the steps, like break it down real slow, setting it up, like doing it left hand forward, because it's important, you know. Like you don't
Right.
want to, you're gonna become one dimensional and predictable. They just gotta watch this side. So
If you, yeah, and I'll give you another one. If your left hand osotogari is very good, you just invest in that, you will be able to beat a lot of trained fighters and even judokas. They just won't know it. And then if you just throw out a left hand throw at the last second of the match, you might win. Or
because they're not
whenever,
expecting
just
it.
this is a total switch. The brain has to think for like really long just to be like, oh shoot, he's coming in left handed now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and even
Yeah.
on even on the recipient's end, I'm sure they've trained with people who threw them 100 times or swept them this way
Mhm.
100 times, but just to receive it on the other end, they might not even experience that. Like you can have been
Yeah.
osotoed 100 times on the right side every day by the different people, but if you don't know what it feels like to get thrown on the left side with that, it might be a totally new thing to you, and then you won't recover as well when you hit the floor. The next thing you know, so it's like,
And you
yeah,
just you just sabotaged yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, man, I don't want to keep you too long. I just want to say thank you for kicking off the first episode back that I'm doing this for the year. I just got, to everybody watching, I just got busy towards the end of the year. I put out like a lot, and then I was finishing school, working on graduating, and then I started working on a lot of music and just in general.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just so people wondering where the episodes went, because people were asking me like, "Oh, do you still do it?" or like, "Oh, who's next?" So I was like, "Yeah, that's where I've been, but I'm getting back into it, and I'm happy to have my brother Vince here to help me kick off the new year with the first one for 2021."
It's an honor, man.
Yeah, and no, for real, the honor's mine, pleasure's mine. I'm super grateful. I miss you in general. I miss everybody. It was good just to
Dude,
talk to you, bro. We'll
dude.
catch up more after this,
All right, man.
and we'll train soon. Like we have to make that happen. Like we
Yes.
have to train
Yes.
soon. Like I'm
Yes.
speaking, I'm putting it out there. I'm gonna pray about it. Hopefully this week. That'd be nice.
Hey,
But
I got you, man. I got you. We'll do something. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Hey, for real, man. Thank you for everything. judo wise, life wise, just for your friendship, for the brotherhood. Uh, yeah, man, very appreciative for you. I can't wait. I'll see you soon. We'll train and we'll get it in, and you can choke me out 10 times.
Hey, no way, no ways, man. All right, man.
Hey,
I love
everybody,
you,
ladies
bro.
and gentlemen, Vince, I love you
Cheers.
too, bro. You have a good one. Stay safe. Hope all
Thank
is
you.
well. Take it easy.
All
Thank you,
right,
brother.
guys.